Hey guys, this is Unrealized Thoughts, and what I call this is Unrealized Reviews. Basically, I'm going to talk about, movies, shows, animes, or anything really, just so I can put my 2 cents in it and what people have been talking about. So, I will be talking about Man of Steel, and yes, there will be spoilers on this movie. I repeat, there will be spoilers, so if you did not watch this movie, watch it, and don't watch this video. Anyway, Man of Steel was a great movie. I think it had good action, good storyline, and good building blocks for the DC universe. And I like that they didn't do a linear story because we already know the story of Clark Kent, and they displayed that in movies, so we already know the story, so we don't have to do it. I think there's a good build up for Justice League in terms of developing Superman as a character. They finally displayed how Superman actually has powers in this movie, and displayed all like his abilities and stuff, and displayed how he has limitless power. They didn't display all his abilities, but they displayed enough of it. I think I like the way how Jor-El, which was played by Russell Crowe, which he was an excellent Jor-El. You will give the people of Earth the ideal to strive for, and one day death will join you in some, which basically means Superman is not only a savior, but he's also a representation of our endless possibilities. But now, the only thing I really have to say about the movie that was bad was the choppy sequences with the flashbacks and current times of when he was a grown-up Clark Kent. But other than that, I think it was a pretty solid film. Next, now let's get into the audience and critics. Basically, 82% of audience loved the film. 56% of critics did not like the film. I was conflicted, and here are the reasons why they didn't like the film. It's too much action, which honestly, this Superman movie makes up for a lot of the stuff that was happening in Superman Returns, and it gave us a more revived image and a revised image of Superman and stuff, which I'm glad they did because last Superman Returns, I feel like people lost faith, and I think this gave real faith to Superman and gave us a new look on Superman, a new take. So the action was well rounded. I like the action. I think it was necessary to display Superman. Next, CGI. People say that the CGI and the 3D was overdone. Not true, because honestly, and James Cameron even said that, which he's the CGI and 3D king himself, so I don't know why he says that. But it's necessary for the action and how Superman is. To display godlike powers on screen is going to be, difficult, especially for the DC universe, since most of the Justice League members, the original Justice League cast in the comic books, which came out in 1960, was, mostly godlike characters, except Batman at most, but still. Too much of Krypton. Now, honestly, I don't say it's too much. I think it was enough because it gave us a perspective on Zod and Jor-El's character, which I'm glad they give us. And the fact that we had an extended look on Krypton, and I'm glad we saw the social what's his names on Krypton, which honestly I never really saw an extended look in the comics or in the shows. So, like a comic book reader and a seer myself, I just really didn't see Krypton or cared about it until now. Um, but they said it was too generic. They had a problem with one of the big problems they had was it was too generic. Had things from Avatar, Transformers, and Matrix. Now, first of all, the whole Avatar thing, I understand because one of those little looking dragons on Krypton looked like the Avatar thing from Avatar, but honestly, I was fine with that. Next, Transformers, they said, apparently he was changing. Zod was trying to change Earth to Krypton. No, you have to. It doesn't matter what you do or something. It's it's your individuality. That's what makes you, different. Which The Transformers thing, they said it was disaster porn, just like Transformers, and they try to put any looking, any lame excuse in the book, which some of the problems are linked to one problem, but I will talk about that and probably like in the end. Well, in the end of the critics thing of Man of Steel. Um, Honestly, they said Matrix. Now, when I heard Matrix, I was thinking about the Neo fight with Mr. Smith or something, whatever his name is. And honestly, they said, and even in the Matrix, they said he's on his Superman thing. So who's stealing from who? Anyway, one of the other big problems they had with the movie was there was no real character development um, with Kal, which is Superman, and I think another big problem related to that in the action scenes, he didn't take the fight out of the city. Now I'm gonna address that. But first, I'm going to address the character development. Honestly, I like the character development because it gave us, sequences. I'm glad they didn't give us a linear story because it would have been longer than it had to be. They gave us flashbacks, which those flashbacks build up to the man who he really is. Which Henry Cavill played an excellent Superman. I think he was born to play Superman because he looks like him. So. And he looks like the grown-up version of the guy from Smallville. Anyway, another thing was they said the whole he didn't take the fight out of the city, and many people were comparing that to Dragon Ball Z with Goku's villains. Honestly, Goku's villains are kind of stupid because they say they want to destroy the world, but they're mad honorable and said, "Oh, I'll agree with you and let's take this fight out of the city." Superman's villains and the rest of the villains from the DC or Marvel universe, they'll say, "Oh, nah, you want to take the fight out of the city?" They know they're not going to do that, so that's why they don't say it. They're going to destroy, the city and stuff, and it's kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid how people compare these things. But I will go in a little bit more depth in like the next video and stuff on how the next video surrounding Man of Steel and the DC Cinematic Universe. Anyway, let's move on. One thing is, somebody said that, he didn't start in, what do you call it, the Daily Planet. Honestly, he didn't have to, I think. It was fine because he was still trying to find himself, which I'm glad they stuck to that story, like trying to find himself, and I'm glad they did that. Another thing is, Lois Lane knows who Clark Kent is. I really didn't care about that. Honestly. Let's like put that out right now. I didn't really care about that because she's a reporter. How can you not notice the difference between a superhero who doesn't wear a mask and the only significant difference is that maybe a spit curls on his head or something like that when he turns into Superman. But when he wears glasses, apparently he's unnoticeable. That's all I have to say. Next, another thing is there was no comedy in the movie. I don't really have to talk about this. There was no need for comedy. And I already talked about the fight, not taking the fight out of the city. With Zod was kind of bringing him back into the city. Superman wasn't really trying to. I didn't see Superman really trying to like hurt him to the point where he brought other people into it, like other stuff in the city, because it was really hard for him to take it out of the city when Zod was bringing it right back. He was smashing him through buildings and stuff, and it was really hard. Superman wasn't even trying to like hurt anybody or something, but when you're facing beings that are just like you have no choice. But he saved the world anyway, because my next point is that they said that he didn't save anybody, which I didn't really care about because he saved the entire world. It didn't matter. Another thing was the fact that Lois Lane and his relationship was rushed. Yes, I agree it was rushed. It was very rushed and I didn't like that, but I didn't really care about it because I didn't want to spend like a whole cinematic universe we didn't want to see another Tony Stark and Pepper Potts thing. You know what I'm saying? I guess they didn't want to see that, but it would have been nice if they developed. Anyway, we didn't see any character development, and some people think that Superman is not the character that he was in this movie, which honestly, I think it's better that he wasn't, to build up to this movie, because if you saw the movie, he was always holding back, which I'm glad Henry Cavill embodied that holding back kind of persona in the movie, where he's like, oh, I really want to hit you, but I can't because I know I'm gonna hurt you and stuff. So I'm glad that, and which this is the next point, people think that it was wrong that he killed Zod. He would have thought of a more creative way to kill, stop Zod. Which the original script was Zod was supposed to go in the what do you call it, the Phantom Zone. I didn't really care for that because honestly, I think it would have been too, not cliche, but it would have been too anticlimactic. And honestly, Zod, I think it was necessary because it showed how Superman was always holding back, and then when he finally cut loose, he felt very terrible, which I think is very. He can, DC could really capitalize on his character in these movies. Anyway, and he can build up into the character he really is in the comics, showing that holding back persona. And ever since that fight with Zod, oh, I should be more careful. And I think the public eye should actually, respect me in that retrospect, because I would be more holding back, even though people are not gonna really like me for this fight that I had. Anyway, another thing which was a huge reason, which was unjustified, was Zack Snyder. People said that they didn't really have a justified reason. All they said was Zack Snyder was a part of the movie. Now, first of all, these are the same people who didn't like 300 and Watchmen. Watchmen, good movie. 300, good movie. Apparently, nobody likes Zack Snyder because apparently he's Zack Snyder. Even though Sucker Punch sucked, but really, you have to judge somebody. I can understand like somebody like M. Night Shyamalan, even though I don't really judge people simply judge a movie by its cover because of the actors or something, or should I say directors. But other than that, I didn't really care for that. Honestly, I will talk to you guys about the Easter eggs later, like in other videos and stuff, because there's more Easter eggs that are popping up other than the Wayne Tech and with LexCorp things. But tell me how you like this review, and I will link a description below for another review of the movie that I think they had a good reason on why critics were going crazy on this whole Man of Steel thing. But tell me how you guys liked it, and leave comments below what you think, or like the DC universe can develop as a story. And do not say Doomsday or Darkseid or any kind of big villains, because I really don't want to see a whole movie where, oh, Man of Steel should be with Doomsday. No. But leave comments below, like and subscribe, and I will have more in store for you other than that. So until then, peace.